we're going to go ahead and get started here so that we have ample time to get through everything that we need to get through. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Mr. Carl.
What do I got here? What do I got? Thank you, Chris. Oh, yeah. Yes. Arrow down right, or there we go. Just a little, they wanted me to just give a little synopsis on what happened on Saturday. For those of you who weren't there and missed out, the 76ers barbecue was a pretty good raging success, I would call it. I think we had somewhere between 90 and 100 people there. Lots of good food, and I don't know, we had it going for 4 or 5 hours there, and it was pretty awesome. I got to thank a few people. I know that some of them aren't here, but all of our net controls, Jeremy and Kate and Don were all there, as well as great support from the UVARC people, including Noji, who set up the HF station, which quite a few people got on the air and made contacts, and it was ship week, and so there was a lot of ships out there and different people on the air, so they got some contacts on that. Plus the Fox Hunt, I think quite a few people found the transmitter on the Fox Hunt and things like that. So we had a great time. We'll do it again next year. I know some people were expressed the fact that we had it a week earlier than normal, but you know what? The weather held out for us. It was nice and cool. It wasn't too hot. And we had some people out there that couldn't have made it otherwise, like if it was this weekend, couldn't have made it otherwise. So anyway, 6 people found the Fox. So the Fox transmitter and everybody had a lot of fun. So next year, put it on your calendar when it comes up next year. We'll know January 1st again what the date will be, and we appreciate Lynn getting that for us. He lives in Highland. You have to be a Highland resident to get the key and all that, and he puts up $50 for that key and all that. So everybody that helped out, everybody had a part. There was a lot of help there, cleaning up and things like that, and so we just appreciate everybody and their response to that barbecue. Not to mention that couple of radios, Mike Baxter, holy cow, I don't know how many times we pulled his number out of that hat, but there was plenty of tickets sold. Karen handled all the ticket sales for us, and it paid for everything, and so we were well ahead on that, since we're not a club entity that has money. So it was a great success, and so we appreciate everybody, and put it on your schedule for next year, and come out and enjoy some food with us, and appreciate that. Also,
the last hush puppy.
Oh, you don't want me to tell that story. I was a little bit late in the line, and when we were cleaning up, I found the last hush puppy on the ground.
Hey, it was a hush puppy.
I ate it, didn't I, Jedi? Where'd it go? I did eat it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You offered me the other half.
Yeah. It was all.
I had it back.
It was, yeah, and I finished it off. Yes. So yeah, Doug always does a good job with hush puppies. It's okay to announce this last thing then? And so in the website is what we talked about?
It's on the next page.
It's on the next page. I didn't see it. Okay. After some chat last night on the net, one of the guys asked about our 76ers website. Well, I hadn't been there in a while. We don't use it that often, and I hadn't been there in a while. KGK and one member, I can't even remember his name, the 76ers, who helped him put that website together, it was 8 or 10 years ago. So there was a lot of history of that, of the 76ers on that website, as well as old lists of members and rosters, and there's lots of information on there, but it was, some of it was antiquated too, so we could not ever get a hold of the guy who was the admin for it. Well, this guy last night asked about it, and all of a sudden everybody's scrambling looking for that website, and it was nowhere to be found. Some foreign entity bought it, and they just expected to sell it back to us or something, I don't know. It was about what? Some Chinese or Taiwanese or Japanese company bought the domain. So anyway, Noji pressed forward with it last night, and I guess our new website will be this. It's not built. Utah76ers.net. I think Jedi is going to build us a website, and we're going to have more than one admin, including Jody volunteered, a couple other people volunteered to help, so that next time, you know, somebody disappears or somebody's roadkill, one guy doesn't have all the keys to the magic on the internet, and we have our website to continue on. Go ahead, Jedi.
So if anybody in this room is really beefed up on WordPress and it sounds really exciting for them to have fun on the website and throw articles on and pictures and video, we welcome you to volunteer to help admin.
Okay. And we appreciate that. And we appreciate all the volunteers. There was a lot of excitement about this in the forum part of our net last night. So we appreciate the guy who, I don't remember who asked the question. He was a new guy. We'll put him on the rolls and we'll figure out who he is. But anyway, we'll try and recover some of the information from Richard. I'm sure he's got it archived somewhere, and trying to get the history of the 76ers back on that site, as well as get it updated and maintained and things like that. So we appreciate Noji pressing forward with that. Go ahead.
And then we have a member actually who actually found the stuff. And there's been all the archives things. We got all the photos, all everything.
Really? Who was that?
It's Rick. KJ7GBT. That's all I know.
Oh, you found it? Or did you have it?
No, there's way back.
Oh, wow. So we're pressing forward. Okay, sounds good. Anyway, so that's just good information. You guys are kind of the first to know. We talked about it a little bit last night off the air and things like that. So you guys are really the first to know. So that will be pressing forward. That's all I got. Thanks to everybody. Appreciate it.
You're not done, Carl.
I got that too? Wow, I didn't know.
We just left green for me.
Summer potluck. Okay, that's just so we need more food. July 19th, will that give us plenty of time to work it off between now and then with field day and other things coming up. So, Utah Valley Amateur Radio Club, remember the Senior Center, Friendship Center back here will not be open during that time, so it will be at the Linden Community Center. Thanks to Adam for lending us that hall over there, and it's right on State Road in Linden there, so it's easy to find. And of course, our weekly 76ers net is on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And you guys, anybody's welcome to show up there, whether you're a member or not. We love to have guests, and we always put you down. Is there anything else for me here? No. Thank you.
That's always good to have double applause there, Carl. Okay, let's see, what have I got? Okay, yeah, I'm doing some of these announcements in place of James, who couldn't be here tonight. Rest of his soul. Anyway, so we are doing an L expedition. In case some of you don't know, there is a thing in ham radio called a D expedition. The word DX means distance. That's just a shortcut. And so we come up with our own thing called an LX, which is local. Anyway, that's a long story. But so we are going to do a local expedition. Typically, a D expedition is somewhere way in the middle of the Indian Ocean, where it's just treacherous and you risk your life and it costs $300,000 and so forth. Hey, Adam. And Tom. So, but instead of risking our lives, we thought we'd just spend a few bucks and go to Antelope Island, which is actually, we come to find out, the longest expedition in the history of amateur radio. It's 24,860 miles. The longest one ever. Of course, we're going to take the 80-mile shortcut. Don't tell the ARRL that. We had to register it as a D expedition to satisfy the rules. So that's what we're doing. Antelope Island. A lot of fun. We're going to bring a lot of mosquito repellent. Okay. Let's see. We're also having a Utah Valley swap meet in September. We have. Sorry, you didn't say again.
And bison repellent.
Oh man, yes. The club will help fund that. So on September 28th, we're having another swap meet. The last one last year was so successful. Had a ton of people come and show up, and they said, "Dude, do this again. We're going to bring twice as much junk." And we thought, well, if you bring good stuff next time, that would be even better. But hey, junk it is, and it was just good to have people come and rub shoulders. It was a lot of fun. So we'll do it at the same place as long as the construction completes there at Costco. So anyway, UtahValleySwapMeet.com. We'll try to keep you appraised on what's going on that website. Next is Utah Valley Hamfest 2020. There is a big Hamfest coming up in August for the Rocky Mountain Division of the ARRL, and it's going to give in Davis County. This will not compete with that because it's going to be a year later, kind of ish. But so we are definitely supporting that one in Davis County. But I'm tired of advertising that one, so now I'm advertising the one here next May, Utah Valley Hamfest. This is going to be in the UCCU Center at UVU, and it will be big. Anyway, so we're a lot of planning is going into this, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, I take a deep breath because it's a lot of work. But hey, for you guys, anything. So one last thing, and that is last month, our beloved Heath Stevenson, I don't know where he is filtering in the crowd today, but he's our sponsor for the Orem City emergency management people. And he wasn't able to be here last week, and so, or last month rather, and so James was actually able to get Mark Seastrand to go in his place. And Mark Seastrand is on the Orem City Council. Great, no big deal, he's another politician, okay? But I didn't find out until after the meeting was over that Mark came here to help us set up, because he likes us so much. I didn't know he had such a big fan. He's not even a ham, okay? Yet. But he likes us so much, and he just loves our group to death that he came and did it twice. But this last time he did it, after the meeting, I found out that he came and helped us and set up and opened our thing in between visiting his wife who was in the hospital undergoing surgery. So it's like, Mark, could you do any better service than that? So I just wanted to give a shout out to him, saying how grateful we were for him. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been able to have a meeting last month at all. So it was really cool. Anyway, so there you go. And so next is James Brown's mention about Field Day. Since he's not here, I'll go ahead and mention it. Field Day, be there. I think you've already heard a lot about it. I'm not going to say much more about it. It's on the website, it's on everywhere. But we would love to have you. Last year was even better than the year before. A lot of people showed up. Good food, good people, great stations. Jody! And so forth. So it's just good to have all these people there. And I hope you can make it. It's a great excuse for a camp out. All right, next is Trevor.
Okay, who got their technician license in the last month? Anybody here? Go ahead and stand up.
I'm Scott Franson. I actually went straight to general.
Wow.
Yeah, so new here, excited to be a part of it.
Great, congratulations. We have you on here.
Yes, right in the middle.
Great, all right. And is anybody else here on this list?
This guy, he got the general.
Okay. Was that an upgrade or was it?
Upgrade.
Okay, upgrades we're going to get in a second. So, congratulations to these guys who aren't here. Hopefully we can get them here. And now upgrades for general. Are you on this list?
Yes.
All right. You want to stand up or?
50-50 chance.
What's your name?
Mike Georgeson. I think
All right.
you see it up there.
Yes, congratulations. All right, and that's encouragement for everybody else who would like to upgrade in the future.
Okay, before I get started with service opportunities, I'm going to turn that floor over to Mel. He has something really quick that he wants to talk to you about.
First, before I get started, I'd just like to express my thanks and appreciation to all of you who participated in the election. It was a very interesting election. I'm quite humbled that so many people turned out and voted. I appreciate your support. I had a very interesting conversation with a real good friend of mine about 2 months ago. His name's Bill Moyes, and he's a ham up in the northern part of the state. And he was very, very concerned about the fact that we don't recognize some of the people who do good work behind the scenes and never get recognized. And he was the victim of an incident that happened where he got driving up Lamb's Canyon in his truck. And he thought he could go through the snow a little bit farther than his truck thought it could. And he got stuck really bad. But he was able to get on the radio, and two hams who were fairly new in the Salt Lake area got together with him and helped get a Jeep up there to pull him out. And while they were pulling him out, another vehicle came and got stuck up there. So the fact that these two guys got on the air and did some work really helped. And while I was checking these things out, I found something out that I'd like to let you know about. A member of your group did a very similar thing. Paige, could you come up here? Paige Ishii, KE7REQ, quite a few months ago, got on the radio and heard somebody asking for help. And they were stuck in the snow somewhere out in Uinta County. And she coordinated on the radio, even though she hadn't been licensed very long, an argument between 3 or 4 different sheriff's offices and people on saying, no, it's not our responsibility. But she did the work, she communicated, and she got the job done to help out. And I'd like to give her a commendation from ARL for her efforts on what she did and appreciate the fact that she did it. Now, I know all of you have probably done similar things, but this was one that was brought to my attention. I thought she deserved the recognition for it. The Utah VHF Society gave me the go-ahead to give her a free year of membership with the Utah VHF Society.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank
So
you.
thank you for all you do. I listened to all your announcements tonight. If you didn't listen to them, go back and look at them on the net. Every one of the activities that I've been to that you guys have done in the past have been great. I really enjoyed your swap meet, and unfortunately my wife heard about it, and she's got a list of things that she wants me to bring, but I'm trying really hard to hide them. So thank you for all you do, and you've got a great group here and a great club. Thanks a lot.
Okay, moving on to service opportunities, my favorite topic. This Saturday, Squaw Peak. We've pretty much got all of our aid stations covered, but I do need some help up there with our parking lots and directing traffic. So if there's anyone out here that can spend a couple hours, 4 hours, like from 10-ish to whenever-ish, don't have to be a ham. You could just come up and hang out with us and help out with the parking situation up there. I would greatly appreciate any help that you can give us. October Summerfest, or Orem Summerfest, is coming up next week, June 10th through the 15th. We will be doing fireworks. If you want to help out with the fireworks, we will also be doing the parade. There's service opportunities there. You have to have had the training, which is online for fireworks. You can get a hold of me, send me an email, I can forward it on to Lance. He is actually doing that. I am also going to be out during Orem Summerfest, Thursday, Friday, and most of the day Saturday, with the CERT group and ham radio. So if you want to come out and spend an hour or two sitting there promoting ham radio, we usually have our HTs, and if there's kids that want to come up, because there's nothing more than watching a kid walk away from our table with a smile on his face because he got to talk to somebody on a radio. And he doesn't necessarily know that it's a ham radio, or doesn't understand the concept of ham radio. He just thinks it's a radio. It's pretty cool. Katina Mos is coming up on Saturday, August 3rd. I will really start pushing for help for that as soon as I get through this weekend. The other thing going on this weekend is
Art City Days.
Art City Days.
Sorry, I screwed up. I gave you the wrong page.
You're okay. Art City Days. We are still short 5 or 6 positions with Art City Days. If you're able to come out and help, please just show up at 8:45 behind that police station in Springville. I would really like to see as many ham radio operators come out and help us. It's kind of a special thing. This year we have had a change in leadership with Springville. Springville now has a new chief. He is a captain that was here with the Orem Police Department, and he's now chief of Springville. And I'd really like him to know that we've got a lot of ham radio operators that are willing to come out and help us and cover the positions that they're not able to. So if you can, please come out and join us. They do pizza and soda in the police station afterwards. Orem City Drill is coming up on Thursday, September the 12th at 6 p.m. That will be here. And then we have Wonder Woman coming up in September. This is another race that I will be trying to get help for. It's a lot of fun. There's quite a few people in here that are my regulars that come out and help with this race. We've also got a lot of service opportunities with UCARES. You can go on ucares.org, and we try and keep that posted with upcoming activities. We've got opportunities at TURT. TURT's starting up. They are going up on Saturdays right now and staffing. Which one? Stewart Falls and Aspen Grove. I don't think Timpanogi's up yet. I don't think it's open yet. We're a little slow getting going because of the snow, but it will get there. And again, we have the races. If you're not part of races, join races. We'll be doing the Races Net coming up this month here in Orem. It'll be the third Thursday. We will also be doing for the first time a Races Net out in Eagle Mountain. On June 20th, we are going to go out and we are trying to get a UCARES group going in the north end of the county, because we all understand that it's difficult for everyone to come down the south end of the county. So we are going to the north end of the county. So we will be doing our first UCARES meeting in Eagle Mountain. And that night we will also be doing the Races Net from out there. So if you're out in that area and would like to join us, please come out. We'd love to have you. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Ryan and Tyler.
Before she said her name. That's a bad call. Every time.
You guys hear it in the back okay?
I'm KI7FUO. Tyler, and what you just heard was a little bit of magic that I like to call CW. Throughout this presentation, we're going to share with you what we love about Morse code. I was licensed in 2016, began doing CW in 2017, and I really like doing QRP operation. If you don't know what QRP is low power operation, so using 5 watts or less. The reason why I like doing QRP is because you can go out anywhere and do it. Like in that photo, Me and my dad went on the side of a mountain and we found a cool treehouse spot. So I climbed up the tree and went to the treehouse spot, and I brought up my radio equipment, and it was easy to do because my radio equipment is so tiny, and I was operating within 10 to 5 minutes of being up there.
My name is Ryan, and in 2OW, I got licensed in 2016, officially received my license in March 2016, and I started using digital modes on HF, worked about 1,000 GT65 contacts, and helped with the development of FT8, like Joe Taylor's in my logs, like, I don't know, 40 times or something like that. And it was while we were developing FT8 that I realized that I was getting a lot of contacts in my log, but I had no idea who these people were. I was just filling up my log with call signs. And I realized I wanted something deeper out of amateur radio. I wanted like a deeper connection. So I got into CW and Morse code and started to learn that, and it turned out to be a really enjoyable mode.
So Dad, what is CW?
CW is, technically, that's a good question, by the way. Good job. It's almost like we rehearsed that. Yeah. Totally. So anyway, CW stands for continuous wave, which is a type of signal, but CW also means Morse code. So when people say CW, they usually mean Morse code. That's usually what they mean. One of the things I think is really interesting about Morse code is that it's kind of like a Vulcan mind meld for humans, right? Because as you hear another person send code, you really have to listen. You can't just be passive. You have to really actively listen to what's being sent and really tune in and hone in on what's being sent over the air. And so I think it's like a really interesting way to connect to another person.
Dad, why should we use CW, and why is it important?
Well, Tyler, why do you like to use CW?
I like to do CW because it's so much fun and it's really rewarding.
I think that CW, the enjoyment of CW is probably the most important. Like if you don't enjoy CW, why do it? And I think that there's a lot of fun that can be had. It's a very challenging mode to master. There's a number of practical reasons too. There are practical benefits beyond just having fun. For example, it's a highly efficient mode. You can work most of the western states on 1 to 5 watts on almost any night, and you can work most of the US on 5 to 10 watts. I recently did a 5-watt QSO between Utah and Maine on 20 meters, and then I did a 10-meter contact between here and Oregon on 5 watts just a couple weeks ago. So you can really, your signal can really get out there with just a little bit of power. And another thing that's great about it is that you're able to find really inexpensive radios. Some of the radios are really cheap, like the QCX kit. I don't know if you guys have seen that before or heard about that, but it's a really affordable kit. It costs about $50. Another interesting thing about it is that it preserves a really important historical mode. Telegraphers and the telegraph have been such an important part of communications in the United States that it really helps you understand where we've been as a country, as a nation, as technologists, people who are interested in engineering and electronics and technology. It really helps you understand where we've been there and helps you appreciate what we have today. And plus, there's really cool looking gadget. Do you want to show me your radio?
Yes.
So this is Tyler's radio. Do you want to talk about it?
This is a mountain topper. It's a QRP radio. It's about $350, and it's really good for getting out. And it's really good for getting out on the sides of mountains and doing CW.
Right, and then you use this with it, right?
Yes, I use this 12-volt, 9-volt or 12-volt battery to help power my radio.
And how long does this battery last you?
I have not charged this thing since last year.
And it still works?
Yep.
And then what's this?
That is my long wire antenna. These can go up, this long wire antenna can go up on the trees and it can be useful for antennas.
Cool. And then this is your key, right?
Yeah, this is my porta paddle. This wasn't too much money. It's really good. It's really tiny and it's easy to use.
Really durable, right?
Yeah, really durable.
Cool. So just with a little bit of gear, I mean, you can see how small this gear is and compact it is. You can easily stick all of this gear in, and you don't even need, you could use just a regular 9-volt battery to power Tyler's radio here. And I'm really proud of Tyler for this is his radio. I did not buy this radio. He worked at a haunted forest in, where was the haunted forest? American Fork. All through October. He earned every dollar for this thing and all this stuff. This is all his. So yeah, he did an awesome job with that.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrupt, okay, but this is so cool. Can you do me a favor? Can you just hold your entire ham radio station in your hand?
Yeah. And it can be even smaller, but maybe can you fit it in one hand?
He's got teeth.
And that's it, that whole thing is your complete HF station.
And you can even make it smaller than that, for sure.
So,
Yes.
sorry, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, what band was that?
This is 10,
No,
40,
no,
and
20?
20, 30, and 40.
Yeah, 20. This is the 3-band version. They have a 5-band version that covers 20, 40, 30, 20, 17, and 15. And then I think they're coming out with an all-band version, like 160 to 6 meters. That's coming out soon. You get them from L&R Precision, and these are based on a kit radio, but these are all these come like this. You don't have to buy them as a kit; they come assembled, or you can buy them as a kit if you'd like to kit them out.
Dad, who invented the Morse code?
Well, Sam Morris invented the Morse code. But it's really kind of interesting how this got started. A lot of people don't know this, and I didn't before I started getting into CW and into Morse code and learning how this worked. The first long-distance communication signals that really became popular prior to electronic telegraphy was visual telegraphy. And I don't know if you can see in the upper right picture there, you can see a tower with these little arms on it, and that's called a semaphore tower. And what you would do is you would position the arms on the tower to stand for a different letter and or a sound. And linguists call those graphs when you communicate that way. And what you would do is you would stand on a hill far away where you could see the tower through a telescope, and that's how we got the telegraph, right? So that's how that got started. Sam Morris really is credited for popularizing and making practical the electric telegraph. There were other electric telegraphs that preceded Sam Morris's telegraph, but he convinced Congress in 1844, which is 175 years, last month, 175 years ago, to build a line as a demonstration to Congress, and since then he's widely been considered the inventor of the electric telegraph. And if you really know your history, especially, does anyone know who Alfred Vail is? Has anyone ever heard of that name before? A couple people. Alfred Vail was Sam Morris's assistant and really helped develop a lot of the actual tone-based communication style that we would find familiar today as CW operators. And a lot of people like fancy historians, they like to call it Vail's code instead of Morse code, right? As a sort of homage to Alfred Vail. And the railroad was a big user of CW and the telegraph. And that predominantly occurred because of what Sam Morris did in 1844 when he was trying to get his line set up to demonstrate to Congress how the electric telegraph should work. He kept running into right-of-way problems with his wires. He needed to run the wires along the farmers' fields and stuff, and he kept getting told, no, you can't put your wires in my field. Well, he struck a deal with the railroad to run it right along the railroad, which had already solved all the right-of-way problems. And our telecommunication systems today, much of the internet and our cellular backend networks, a lot of those fiber optic cables are run along railroads for the same purpose. It's kind of interesting. Today we use International Morse, which is defined by the ITU, which is part of the United Nations, the International Telecommunications Union. And they actually are the official keepers of what International Morse is and what it means. Not too many people use American Morse these days.
One more fun fact about him.
Yeah.
He was a very famous artist. There's a painting of his in the New York Museum, the Art Museum in New York.
Yeah, he was
I
a
ran into it a couple years ago.
very skilled artist. That's a good.
Yes.
That's a good thing. Yeah. There's a lot of history. 175 years of history. We could do a presentation on just the history of CW. Like, there's a lot to it. So we want to talk about. You want to talk a little bit about what the code is, Tyler?
The code. Well, first you need to learn how to do the code. So you need to learn timing and rhythm.
So Tyler, what does timing and rhythm mean? Do you know?
Well, what I think timing is how fast or slow you go throughout a presentation, because if you go too fast, well, if you're moving fast and so throughout a presentation, that no one can understand you. So
When you send the code.
yeah, when you're sending the code and you move really fast and really slow, it's hard to understand. And what I think rhythm is how the spaces between the letters and the words. So without the spacing, it's just a bunch of dits and dots, and no one understands that. But with rhythm, you can understand what people are sending through Morse code. It's not just a bunch of dits and dots.
Cool. So one of the things that's interesting about Morse code is that the timing has to be right and the rhythm has to be right in order to be understood as a language. So if you send with poor timing, in other words, if you speed up and slow down and speed up and slow down, it's really hard to follow what you're saying. It's kind of like slurring your speech almost. And rhythm is all about the patterns and the tones that you create, and silence ends up being really an important factor for establishing that rhythm. It's almost kind of musical once you do it. And one of the goals of learning code is to gain proficiency. And a lot of people have different definitions of what proficiency in CW operation means. So I came up with like this idea of advanced proficiency, where if you could work at 20 to 25 words a minute and head copy most of that, you'd probably be considered an advanced CW operator and could probably handle just about any QSO. So to get there, though, it takes lots and lots of practice. How much practice?
Oh, a lot.
How much do you think you've practiced?
I've been practicing a lot, and I'm still not good yet.
How much do you practice in a day?
Well, sometimes I do 30 minutes a day, and lately it's almost full day, and I want to get on the CW station, so I've been practicing about an hour a day.
And how long have you been doing that?
Well, 3 years.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice to gain CW skills and really gain that proficiency. But in the practice is also a lot of fun. It's really enjoyable, and we want to share that experience with you, like right now, because we're going to do a practice session right now with all you guys, and we're going to invite you to participate in our practice session. So Tyler's going to man the key here for a second, and we're going to talk about dits and dots. Okay? So a dit. So did you guys know that you were signing up for a CW class today? Who knew that they were going to learn CW tonight? Has anyone learned CW before? Does anyone know at least 5 characters? At least 5 characters. Okay, great. All right. So yeah, you guys will be the masters of this, right? Okay. So first we need to talk about what a dit is. Tyler, can you send a dit?
Yeah.
So send a few dits for us. A dit is a nice short tone, and we call dit, 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 right?
Yep.
Yep. Now send some das. Right. Can you hear that? How that's a little bit longer, right? So now Tyler's going to send just a single dit or a single da, right? And what I want you to do is I want you to listen, and when you hear a dit, I want you to say dit, and when you hear a da, I want you to say da.
Good.
Good. Oh. All right, you guys are pros. You're ready. You're advanced students already. Good job. All right, now what Tyler's going to do next is he's going to combine dits and das. We combine dits and das to make letters. Okay. So Tyler, just do a dit or a da. Just do two of them, and well, that's the letter A. Yeah. Somebody, all you guys know. But what I want you to say is dida, right?
One more.
Da, da, da. All right, you got it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to start learning letters. All of those dits and da combinations stand for different letters in the CW alphabet. And there are a lot of characters, but there are really about 40 that you need to know, along with a few prosigns. So we're probably not going to get through all 40 tonight. We would be here for several hours. So we're just gonna see how far we can get through this list. Now I have a cheat sheet here on the board. It tells you exactly what dits and das stand for each letter. So I don't want you to focus on this, because one of the really interesting challenges that happens when you learn CW is if you start counting dits and das, it will mess you up later when you try to go faster, okay? So you don't want to count dits and das. You don't want to hear dit dit and then think, oh, that's 2 dits, that's the letter I. I want you to just hear the sound, dit it, let's play it. Right? So you can hear that as a complete sound. So that's really important. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the letter T. All right? So when you hear this sound, you're going to say T, all right? T. Oh, you guys you're the pros. All right, you're ready to go. All right, we're already right on to our second letter. All right, now Tyler's going to add E. All right, so play an E for us. That's E. All right, now he's going to start switching it up. He's going to play a dit or a da, and you have to tell me if it's an E or a T. Oh, you guys are ready to go. All right. All right, now we're going to do our first combination. So T and E are the only characters that have a single dit or a single da. Everything else is combined. We start combining dits and das. Now, it's really important that you don't get this mixed up, and we're going to run into some letters later, and I'll demonstrate this. But for now, I want you to hear the complete sound of an A. Play an A, Tyler. All right, so when you hear that, say A. Right. Okay, now he's going to start mixing up T, E, and A, and go leave a little bit more gap. All right, here we go. All right, you guys are ready. All right, you're ready for your first words, okay? We're actually going to start communicating to you using these little tones. You're going to have no idea. There's no other way for you to know what this information is unless you can decode these dits and das. All right. So you ready, Tyler? Here you go. Let's do a word. So what you're going to do is you're going to listen for the full word. Then we're going to say the word. Are you ready? Here we go. Got it? At. Good job. Let's hear it again. At. Yep. Again. At. Again. At. You got it. All right. Okay, next.
Okay, next.
8. Good job. Good job. Eat. Yep. 8. Yeah, that's 8 again, right? Yeah. Da, da, dit. Yep. Good job. Eat. Well, who just said that? Who got that? You're awesome, Megan. It's almost like you've listened to us do it for years. A. Eat. Good. 8. Okay, now what he's going to start doing next is he's going to start not just giving you words, he's also going to start mixing in the letters T, E, and A. So you might get a letter or you might get a word. Okay, so this is really important for developing that sense of rhythm as you hear the code. You need to make sure you wait for the full sound before you decide what it is. You don't want to anticipate what it is, because you need to wait for the full thing to come across. A, yep. Did-ah. What did you do? Did-ah, da. Eat. Yep, yep. 8.
Yes, I messed up.
What, did anyone catch those letters? ATT. ATT, yep, AT&T, all right. I'm gonna call the phone company. E. Eight. All right, you guys are doing really well. Is this getting hard? Yes, it's hard, right? It's okay. It takes practice to get this. We're going to go ahead and add another letter now, make it a little bit interesting. We're going to add the letter M. All right, now M, we've already started to see this, right? You need to hear the letter together. So, Tyler, what I'd like you to do to demonstrate this is I'd like you to play M, T, T. All right, and I want you to listen to the space between those 3 characters, M, T, T. M is da-da, play an M real fast. That's the M. All right, and then T is, right. So now M, T, T. Do you hear those spaces between the characters? That helps you define the characters. Now, if Tyler sends M too slowly, is that TT or M? Right? So you have to do it right. You have to keep that timing nice and clean. Okay, so now Tyler's going to you do the letters. T, E, A, and M, no words. We're just going to do the letters and start seeing how you guys do with the letters. All right, here we go. T. M, yep. A. E. Oh, you guys are so good. You're so good at this. All right. So now we're going to start doing some words with all 4 of those letters. And you might get a word, or you might just get a letter. You don't know. I don't know what Tyler's going to do back here. All right, here we go. Let's find out. Am. Yep. A-M. T. Yep. Send it again. Aim. Yep, somebody got it back here. Aim. Da-da, did it, da-da. Yep. But we haven't done I yet, so that was kind of cheating. We jumped ahead. That we haven't done I yet. Well, you just learned I.
It was in there. So.
Okay, keep with T-E-A-M.
Okay. Here we go.
Team. Yep, good job. Meat. Good job. Meat. The other kind of meat. The good kind of meat. Remember that one? Do it again. Eat. Yeah, leave a little bit more space between the letters and the words. He's so like this is easy for him. He wants to go really fast. In just a second, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to quiz him and see how he does. And we'll put him on the spot. Okay? All right, so one more.
Okay.
8. Yep. Da, da, dit. Meat. Yep. Oh. Me. Yep. Yep. Okay. So let's do. Do you want to take a turn? Let's swap for a second. Tyler's going to come up here, and I'm going to quiz Tyler and see how he does. All right. We're going to take a. You guys can take a good relax. Not on the spot anymore. It's Tyler's turn.
inhabiting the guy who's been doing it for 2 years. Way to go. Aim. Yep, good job. Good. Yep. Good job. Yeah. Tyler. Okay, all right. You ready to swap places again? You're done being put on the spot? Yes, I'm done being put on the spot. All right. All right, so you can see that even for somebody who's been doing this a long time, it's difficult, right? It just takes time and it takes lots of practice to get that right. But the practice is a lot of fun. All right, so next we're going to introduce the letter I. All right, so Tyler, place an I. All right, again. Did it? Yep, again. All right, now I want to have Tyler do an I, followed by E-E. I want you to listen carefully to the timing here so you can hear the difference between did it and did it, did. Right? Listen to, again. Right? And then send it poorly so we can hear what not to do. I have no idea what that is, right? E. Send it really badly. Yeah, I don't know.
So when you're spacing your letters, like when you're sending E, do you usually count to like 1, or does it just depend on the person that's sending it? How long do you usually wait in between letters?
That's a good question. So when you're first starting out, you're probably going to leave a little bit more space between letters. It's called Farnsworth spacing, like the amount of space you leave between letters. And so you might be sending characters at a certain words per minute, like 25 words a minute, but then the spacing you might have between each letter or each word might be really long. It might be 5 words a minute or something, much slower. But ideally, you don't want to get faster than 1 dit. So whichever speed you're at, that defines how long a dit is. And between letters, you don't want to be faster than a dit. Otherwise, your letters start blurring together. I hear on the air all the time people send words with no spaces and like no idea what they're sending because you can't understand. It's just a blur of dits and das. Maybe after I've been doing it for 50 years, I'll get it. All right, so let's do an I again. Oh, sorry. I. All right. Okay, so here we go. He's going to do letters. Just letters, T-E-A-M-I, and let's see how you guys do. Here we go. You're back on the spot. I, yep. M, T, I, yep. I, E, oh, sorry. T or M? T-T. Okay, now start sending some words with T-E-M-I, and make sure you leave plenty of space between the letters so that, because we're still learning our letters here. Tie. Yep, I heard someone say it back there. Who was the? Oh yeah, of course. Okay. Okay. Next word. Item. Yep. So let's do some more. And then go back and do some of those other ones too. Yeah. Again. Time. Yep. Meat. Aim. Yep, good job. Am. Yep. A little bit more space. Eat. Yep. tie. And don't you feel like you were these people right here with these gas masks on right now? Because then like you could fall asleep and no one would even know, right? Like you could just go to take a nap. I don't know, maybe your instructor would know. These are, does anyone know Navy? Navy trainees, yep. Yep, and they're practicing sending and receiving using gas masks, so if they have to wear gas masks while operating the radio, they can. So that's kind of the history of that picture. There's a lot of military history with CW, especially in World War II. CW operators there were a lot of them. I don't know how many of them there were, but there were a lot. Okay, should we add a K? We're going to ramp up the difficulty on you guys because you're doing so good. Okay, here we go with a K. I think you guys are bored. Let's make it harder. Okay, that's the letter K. So here we go. K. I. M. A. All right. You guys are doing really good with the letters. We're going to go ahead and add some words with K-I-M-E-A-E-T. All right, here we go. Kit. Good job. Kite. Excellent. Yeah. Make. Good job. Take. Yep. Time. All right, you guys are doing really good. We're going to swap places again, and I'm going to quiz Tyler again. So here we go. Let's do some more stuff. You ready?
Tyler's back on the spot.
Oh, Tyler's back on the spot. Okay. Okay, let me just one.
Everything is on you now.
All right, here we go. Let's do this call sign. K7UVA. Again. K0R. Yep. K0GI. Yep. My call sign KX7, if you will. Yeah, that's one the ham never forgets, right? Okay. Whoops. N0SS. Yep. Good job. All right, so you got the call signs down. Now let's do a phrase. Let's see if you can do this phrase. Ready? Whoops. Easy come, easy go. Yeah, you got it. All the time. Weather, sending good. Oh, nice weather. Yep, yep. Good DX. Yeah, good job. Was. Yeah, or worked all states, I guess, right? Oh. Like this. And then, remember what this pro sign means? PT. BT. Yeah, do you know what it means? I forgot. Oh, there you go. So one of the things that's kind of interesting as you get more into this is not only do you need to learn your letters, but you also need to learn combinations of letters called prosigns. And the one that I just sent is BT. It's a B and a T stuck together. Do it again, Tyler. Right, you hear that B, da, 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 da. That's BT. And it means like, I don't know, you're taking a pause, it's a space, right? Right? It's kind of like the universal of CW. All right? Why don't you send 7-3, Tyler? All right, now why don't you send 7 3s? Oh, okay. Yeah, give me a second. That's 7 threes, okay? Now send 73 again.
Screw that one up.
Yeah. Again. Do you hear that nice musical tone, 73, right? Isn't that nice? 7-3 sounds horrible. Don't even ask him to send 73s, right? That's bad news right there. You don't want to do that. All right, so look, we just want to wrap up our presentation. So first off, I want to give Tyler, our assistant, a round of applause. Good job. All right, so what you guys just did is if you've never done CW before, raise your hand if you've never done CW before until tonight. Oh my gosh, you guys just got a huge jump start on this, all right? So what you can do is you can go to lcwo.net, it's learncwonline.net. It's a website created by a German ham, and he doesn't want any money. He doesn't want to sell you ads. He doesn't want to market to you. It's completely a free website that he provides to the community. And you can start going through the lessons, and the lessons are in the letter order we just basically started with. So you've already got a heads up. That's a completely self-paced system you can do on a website using your computer. If you'd like something a little bit more directed, you can take a look at the CW Academy. This is a really popular service where volunteer CW operators act as Elmers, and they meet using Skype or some kind of online meeting software, and they actually teach you CW over the internet in classes. So this is great if you have time to dedicate to classes and time to do the homework assignments, because there's a homework every night when you do the classes. Some of the classes do have kind of a waiting period, so just keep that in mind. If you'd like to do CW Academy, you might want to Google that and take a look at it and get in line for one of those classes. And if you ever need any assistance, there's a huge community of CW operators. CW operators love to help people. And we have the Utah CW Operators, which is a Facebook group where a bunch of us get on there and try to help each other. There are a whole bunch of clubs, like the Straight Key Century Club. I have a straight key right here. So this is a straight key where we had been using paddles where an electronic computer controlled the dits and dots. With the straight key, you have to control the dits and dots yourself by pulling down this paddle, and it's quite tricky to get right. And the Straight Key Century Club is a club designed to help people who are interested in mechanical keys, not electronic. So straight keys, bugs, cooties, those kinds of things. So with that, we'd like to see if you guys have any questions for Tyler and I, and we'll wrap up. Is there any questions about how to learn CW, or yes?
Just to indulge me, could you please transmit YYZ, YYZ?
Sure. Go ahead. YYZ, YYZ.
Oh, I sent Z wrong, I'm sorry.
It's got a nice little beat, doesn't it?
Yeah, one of our practice phrases we use all the time is Ben's best bent wire /5. Ben's best bent wire /5. Do it. That's Ben's best wire /5. It's kind of tricky to get right. You did a good job with that. Way to go.
My favorite rock band, Rush, from Canada, heard that because that's the code for their home airport.
Right.
So they heard that and they wrote a whole rock instrumental about that.
175 years of history. There's so much that's happened with Morse code over those years. Go explore that history. Any other questions? Yes.
What was that rate you just said?
This radio?
Well, the rate.
Oh, the rate.
How many words a minute? You said?
25. 25 words per minute. Yeah, you guys are on it. Yeah, any other questions? All right, cool. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. We do have some gear up here if you guys want to come take a look at the gear. I brought my KX3, which is a kind of expensive rig. But you're welcome to come up. That's what I use for my mobile QRP rig. And come check out all the stuff that we've got. So thank you for your time.
with a raise of hands, who does not have a ticket?
Can I have the whole roll? We're doing good. It's the bottom of
You can only do your presentation in Morse code now.
Did I? That means Roger. Okay, next up is Brent. Uh-oh, we got two questions, Bryce and other
Wait
man.
for tickets.
Oh, okay. All right, so I guess you guys raise your hands for tickets. If you have not gotten one of these pink magical pieces of paper, please let Karen know. She's passing them out right now. And we're going to turn time over to Brent. He's going to be the one who's going to dish out our door prices. Scott?
I do have a question. If anyone has, I'm on a motorcycle now, so I'm trying to do Bluetooth. I found a Bluetooth that plugs directly into the valve line. Has anyone ever tried that? Let me know. If not, I'll take the thing and buy it for $40 to try it. But if someone else has tried it, I'd like to know their results of that.
We need club guinea pigs just like you. Thanks.
You're welcome. I'll let you know.
Doji.
I'm sorry.
The FT100 with the Bluetooth powered in, it works really well.
So
FT100D.
Okay.
Yeah, it's small. It's only that big. You can separate it in. But that works really well.
Okay. Go ahead and get with Scott afterwards and let him know. That sounds like an awesome thing.
All right, let's go away some free stuff. So first of all, I need someone up here to come and help me pick out tickets out of the bucket. But this person must meet some qualifications first. This ticket right here, you must pull this ticket out of that bucket. And you must put it in the grand prize box. Let's see.
I can.
All right, come on up.
I did it last time, so. Hello again.
Hey, Brent?
Yeah.
This is Megan. Megan, this is Brent.
Megan, yes, did you do the family net or the one of the nets on those nights?
I joined in. I did. I helped with the card the tickets last time.
Is it this one here? Oh, never mind. Okay, so does she think the little or just reach her hand in? Yeah. Okay.
So I joined the last. The envelopes are.
So you're
on
gonna
the
take two.
table.
You're gonna take out the first two tickets and then put them in that envelope that she has. And remember, one of them must be this ticket right here.
Two fell out. We're just gonna choose these two. Why not?
All right, so go and give that bucket a good shake. All right, take out the first ticket.
And.
All right.
372.
372. All right. So coming up here, we've got a whole bunch of prizes right up here. We've got gloves. We've got flashlights.
What's your name?
I'm Don Grover.
Don.
Yeah, dog.
Good job done. Those antennas back there as well. Yep, those ones right there. We've got one Balfang and 3 Gacy's.
Explain your podcasting.
Well, actually, Seth explained it to me earlier. So Seth has donated an app that he created for Android.
Trevor.
Huh?
Trevor.
Trevor?
Trevor?
Yes.
Trevor.
Yeah, did I say Seth?
It's okay.
I'm always getting something Trevor mixed. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just, I don't know. But anyway, Trevor created an app for Android called the Ham Radio Podcast. It's only for Android. It normally goes for $5. Tonight he is donating that for free. So that is also a door prize. You just have to enter the promo code in on the app, and then you get it for absolutely free tonight. And then the two prize, or the the two grand prizes are a Baofeng radio, already programmed and ready to go, and an antenna donated by Carl.
Not donated.
Oh, given by the club. So with that, let's go ahead and get another ticket.
405.
405, who's that? Jason. Good
Oh,
job.
that's so close to mine.
Oh.
406. You get to choose something. Yay. Give me your ticket. Oh no, I dropped it. 367.
That's me.
Oh.
I'm kidding. That wasn't me.
Okay.
All right, what's your name? Mark. Come on up.
Come on.
Anything you want. Yeah, except for the two that go into the grand prize.
No, I mean, 2 more people, and then your grand prize, we gotta wrap up.
Oh, 2 more people and then the grand prize. Okay. All right. $358. 358. What's your name?
Dan.
Dan, congrats. Come on up.
Dan.
And then we'll draw the last ticket.
Me. 345.
345.
Ethan, Dad.
345. Trevor, congrats. All right. Which one's the grand prize envelope? Can you give me the grand prize envelope? All right. So one of these tickets in here should be mine. Let's see who the other lucky guy is. There's only one ticket in here.
Oh.
There's 2 envelopes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the first ticket. 384.
Trevor, come hold it.
Congrats. Come on up. That was
K7RTV.
K7RTV. Congrats. So do you want the antenna or the radio? Radio. Okay.
All right.
All right.
This is fun to hold.
The moment of truth. You're fired.
How dare you?
346.
That's fine, but I've already got 2, so you can just pull somebody else.
Oh, I live in a communist society known as an HOA, so I can't even take it.
So we need to go to another ticket?
So do I.
Huh?
Draw another one. Draw another one.
Okay, we're drawing another ticket.
You can redeem yourself. Make sure it's 383.
I don't think I'm gonna pick that, but okay.
This is your chance to redeem yourself. Come on, don't blow it. Don't blow it. No pressure.
370.
You're fired. 370. Congrats.
prize.
Why, thank you very much.
And I'll take the tickets.
All right, congrats to all of our prize winners, and thank you, Nojit, for everything. Hey, Megan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming out. We'll see you in
July 19th.
Field day.
July 19th and on field day.
So, no club meeting next month?
So, if you want to join us, it's not part of it, you don't have to, but we will be going down to Apollo Burgers.
Okay, all right.